Hi, good morning, Shardul.
Hello.
How was your weekend?
It was okay. How about yours?
It was good actually. Just give me 1 minute. We'll start in a minute.
Yeah.
So, any doubts in overloading, overriding?
No.
Okay, what we have learned before that? Just a second. नीति ही open करता हूँ. Okay. So operators clear आहेत.
Oh.
Deep copy, shallow copy,
Oh.
right? जे clear आहे, right?
Oh.
Deep copy आणि shallow copy कसं करशील explain?
डीप कॉपी मी असं एक्सप्लेन करेन की डीप कॉपी मध्ये तुम्ही जेव्हा एलिमेंट्स कॉपी करता तेव्हा त्याच्या नवीन कॉपीज बनतात आणि प्रत्येक कॉपी डिफरंट मेमरी लोकेशनला पॉइंट करते इवन दो कॉपी सेम व्हॅल्यू जरी असली तरी डिफरंट मेमरी लोकेशनला कॉपी करते आणि आय वुड एक्झाम्पल कुठलं सांगायचं म्हणजे असं एक स्पेसिफिक एक्झाम्पल सांगायचं का ह्याचं जस्ट कन्सेप्च्युअली सांगायचं.
एक्झाम्पल सांगितलं ना कधी कधी बेटर, म्हणजे तुझी अंडरस्टँडिंग क्लिअर होते आणि समोरच्याला कळते की तुला समजले. सो आपल्याजवळ एक्झाम्पल असतील ना, सो ऑलवेज इट्स अ गुड थिंग.
एक्झाम्पल मध्ये सांगू शकतो सी प्लस प्लस मधला क्लास असेल त्याच्यामध्ये पॉइंटर मेंबर व्हेरिएबल असेल त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला डीप कॉपीला कस्टम कॉपी कन्स्ट्रक्टर लागतो लिहायला सो दॅट डँगलिंग पॉइंटर्सचा इश्यू नाही येणार की ऑब्जेक्ट ज्या हे नाही होणार तेव्हा.
ओके, एकच सेकंड.
हो.
म्हणजे तुला क्लिअर आहे, तू कॉन्फिडेंट आहेस त्याबद्दल, राईट?
हो.
ओके, परफेक्ट. आणि त्यानंतर उप्स पिलर्स, पॉलिमॉर्फिझम एक्सप्लेन करता येईल? पॉलिमॉर्फिझम, इनहेरिटन्स, सबस्ट्रॅक्शन, एनकॅप्सुलेशन, चारही करता येईल एक्सप्लेन प्रॉपरली?
हो.
परफेक्ट. ओके, तर आज आपण फक्त आय डोंट थिंक सो की पॉलिमॉर्फिझम आता पाहण्याची गरज आहे. मेथड ओव्हरलोड कशी करतात किंवा ओव्हरराईड कशी करतात, कारण इनहेरिटन्स मध्ये ओव्हरराईड पाहणार आहे आपण. ओव्हरलोडिंग बरोबर.
हो बरोबर.
आज आपण इनहेरिटन्स स्टार्ट करू. इनहेरिटन्स मध्ये आपण स्टार्ट विथ दी ओव्हररायडिंग फर्स्ट, देन वी विल स्टार्ट विथ दी व्हर्च्युअल कीवर्ड, मग व्हर्च्युअल डिस्ट्रक्टर, व्ही टेबल, करेक्ट? जेवढं तुम्हाला जाणवतंय हार्डली आपल्याला अजून 2 किंवा 3 सेशन लागतील. ठीक आहे, तर असे कुठले स्पेसिफिक तुला असं वाटत असेल की हे टॉपिक्स आहेत की जे कव्हर झाले पाहिजे किंवा ते टॉपिक्स आहेत कव्हर झाले पाहिजे, मी फक्त इंटरव्ह्यू पॉईंट ऑफ व्ह्यू पाहतोय, ठीक आहे, तसे असतील क्लिअर करशील मला, ठीक आहे? एक सेकंड, मी स्क्रीन शेअर करतो, मला सांगशील जेव्हा डिस्प्ले होईल.
Hello.
हाय,
Hello. Hi
Hello.
guys. Good evening.
गुड इव्हनिंग.
So how's the sessions going on?
गोइंग गुड ॲक्च्युली फ्रॉम माय
Okay. Just wanted to let you know that the sessions are being recorded and you need to follow the protocol. That is, you need to speak in English. Okay.
ओके, फाईन, नो प्रॉब्लेम.
Okay.
Please take care of it, guys. I know that things slip from your mind, but please do
Okay.
follow it.
Sure.
Sure.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we will start with the inheritance. Okay.
Yeah.
Now first we'll understand what is the need of inheritance or why we need inheritance. Then we will understand how inheritance is going to make our programming life very easier. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take an example. So we are going to write multiple classes. Then we are going to learn the need. Once you understood the need, then we are trying to learn about the how method overriding is going to help us. In which cases we do override the method, in which cases there is no need to write the overriding, or there is no need to override the methods. Okay, so before that we will just understand the concept of inheritance, why we need it. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's take an example of a class where we are saying we are going to have an employee. Okay, sorry, a
Yeah.
student,
Student. Yeah.
and we can write another class for employee, right?
Yeah.
So our student can have a name, correct?
Yeah.
Private data members here, have public data members, sorry, public methods here. So exactly same way, our employee also have the names, correct?
Yes.
Currently, not going much deeper in the constructor, destructor, copy constructors. Okay, uh,
Yeah.
just assume the memory is going to get allocated dynamically, correct? So for that we have written copy constructor, assignment operator, then we have destructor, all other things are there, correct? We'll just focus on one thing only, then we'll just understand the concept of inheritance through that. Okay, rest
Yeah.
of the there as it is, there will be no change. Okay, so
Yeah.
if we write method, then obviously we have to write a getter for it, right?
Yeah.
Same way we have to write a setter as well.
Yes. Because since we can't access the private members.
Correct. So here we can say str copy the destination is fine. We cannot say this arrow name equals to name because it is going to copy the address. So str copy kiwa str, yeah, it will work. It will give us error, correct? Because Visual Studio doesn't understand this, so we have to make use of some different method. It's like this. We'll see how we can make use of that, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, we have to write here as well, correct?
Yeah.
And as well for employee as well. Now let's say if we create some employees, initially we will not create dynamically. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Now we want to set the name. We have to pass the pointers. My bad. Okay, just understand the scenario where here we are going to set the names, we are going to get the names, we are going to perform some operation on the a single data member, that is a name, correct?
Yeah.
Now let's assume a scenario. So initially we decided that we will keep the full name in a single variable, correct? And
Yes.
eventually decided to go with the different kind of implementation where we are going to say, so instead of name, we want to change it with the first name and last name.
Yeah.
Just decided to make some changes.
Yeah.
If you notice how many times we are going to make the changes in the code. Correct? For the
Yeah.
same things, for the same changes, we have to do it for the different class as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, there might be a number of classes, correct? And we
Yes.
have to make changes for those many of classes. For single data type, we have to make changes this much of times, correct?
Yes.
If you see, uh, we are repeating the same code again and again. So this piece of code is already written. So we have written it one more time. And
Yeah.
as developer, as a good practice, ideally we should avoid repeating the same code, correct?
Yeah.
This, so that's why we make use of functions. Whenever we find a repetitive code, we move that piece of code into functions. So exactly same case, we are repeating multiple lines. So these lines are getting repetitive. So in such scenario, we write a base class, correct? We
Yes.
move common functionality in the base class. So there is no need to repeat the same things again and again. And we can reuse the existing functionality.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Now, we have moved the common code in the base class. So even though, let's say, in future I decided to go with the, let's say, if I want to make changes in these things, so it's easy, right? It's not that much difficult now. So there is
Yeah.
no need to do it multiple time. In a single time, we can, in a single class, we can make those changes, right? So what is the use of inheritance? We can get the common properties, correct? So
Yeah.
we inherit the properties from a base class, so that there is no need to write same code again and again multiple times. Second,
Yes.
at the time of maintenance means if we are making some mistakes in such scenarios, we have there is no need to fix it multiple times or in multiple classes in a single in case of maintenance. I mean, if you want to make changes in any class, if you make the changes in the base class, everything will get fixed. So there is no need to write, no need to correct it at multiple places, right? And if these properties are common, then we can make use of it multiple times, again and again we can do it, right? So the first
Yeah.
case is code reusability, correct? Second
Yes.
is in maintenance,
Yeah. A
maintenance,
modularized code is easier to understand as well.
correct, right? So these are the two main features or the main plus points of using inheritance, correct?
Yeah.
Now, for now, I'll just delete this code, and just to make it more easier, we'll try to understand how we can achieve method overriding, when in which scenarios we can do it, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just write this as a base class. We can make it as base and derived class. So we'll follow these naming conventions. Okay, base and derived. Now, if any private data members are there, obviously so instead of constructor, we are now we are going to make use of setters and getters to set the values. Okay, we can make use of constructor as well. Both will be fine.
Yeah.
Is there any need to write this as constant?
No.
Why?
Because setting means you're changing the value,
No,
right?
we have written, we have understood about this constant, right? It means
Yeah.
write constant here. So the class variables, we are not able to change it here,
Yeah.
right? Was there, but we can do it here, correct?
Yeah. Because we're changing the value.
We are changing the value. So ideally we cannot write const here, because the task of this function is to change the value. So
Yeah.
can we write constant here?
No.
We can write, right? But I mean, it will not happen. I mean, nothing will happen, but we can write here, correct? But
Yeah.
it will be useless.
Yeah. It is not. It shouldn't be written ideally, but
No, it means the moment we write const here, it means we cannot make any changes in the data,
yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
If we remove that, we can change it, right? So if we
Yeah.
write const here, so ideally there is no point making this constant. Can
Yeah.
make it constant, but if it's a pass by value, so there is no point making it constant, because the original value is not going to get changed, right? So if
Yeah.
it's a pass by reference, in that case, making it constant makes some sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's a pass by value, so we are not going to make it constant, right? Now let's try to write some. So I'm going to write a method called as given, write a constructor so that it will be easier. Now instead of this, we'll just try some different things. Constructor initializer list. right?
Yeah.
So if you pass any variables here, it will work exactly fine. So base 1 is there and std out data, right? As a result, that we will get 10 value. In that. Correct? We got the
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Code is easy to understand, no changes.
Yeah.
Let's try with the derived now. So if we are saying currently we do not have any constructor in the derived class, so let's write that first.
And then
Now this data belongs to the parent class. So how we can pass it?
base.
This is the way how you can pass this data to parent class. We'll call parent class method. Now these things are public, right?
Yeah.
Those got inherited here already. So here if d1 is there, so we can call d1 dot get data, correct?
Yeah.
All like this, you can see we'll get 20, right?
Yeah.
10 plus 20, 10 for base class, 20 for derived
Derived
class.
class. Yeah.
But in this scenario, only this method is going to get called.
The base class one.
Class method, correct?
Yeah.
We try like this, correct? So data is 10. It means it's this object, correct? Again, one more time it is going to hit. So data is 20. It means it's a derived class, correct?
Yeah.
Now let's say sometimes it may happen that we do not want this data as it is, correct? Or
Yeah.
in case of salary, so this derived class wants to make some changes in that data. So can we override this? The answer is yes,
Yeah.
correct? Instead of this m dot data, so let's say if we have simply what we will do, we will call base, we can call this method and we'll just add 5 into it, correct?
Yeah.
A derived class method get called, we are just going to add 5. So your logic can be anything, correct? You
Yeah.
can anyway, but we are not making use of any virtual keyword here, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
There is a virtual keyword here and we are calling it using derived class. Now if you notice, I'll just add a reference here as well, a breakpoint here as well, okay? If you run this code, you will see the code will behave exactly same. For the first time, it is going to give call to the base class because it is getting call from here, correct? Line number 36.
Yeah. It is just calling the base class method, right? Directly.
Now, the moment we are going to call this, obviously it is not going to go to the base class. The reason is very much simple. So the object is of derived class only, correct? So it is
Yeah.
not going to the base class. It is going to go into the derived class, and from the derived class, it is going to call this method, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So in this scenario, you will see, oops, did I miss something? Just a second. From here, it has jumped here. It got the base class data, and it is just going to add 5 into it. And as a result, we will get 25, correct? 20 plus 5.
Okay. Yeah. We're already passing. Yeah.
If
I was thinking 15. I don't know why.
yeah, because you may get confused between this one, correct?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That was throwing me off.
20 plus this 5,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
If we are not making use of pointers, then overriding a function is useless. Even if you write virtual here, okay?
Yeah.
Virtual. Okay, even if you write like this, and you will see, I'll just write a breakpoint here. we'll get the same output. So there is no changes in the output, correct?
Yeah.
So if you are making use of the overriding, these things are not going to work. The syntax. Now, do that. So you can create a base class pointer, correct? Or to make use of, you have to call the constructor like this, correct? If
Yeah.
you do using new keyword, obviously it is going to work, correct? And if we perform these operations now, so there will be some changes, like instead of this we have to make use of arrow operator. Then we have to, as we have correct, as we have created using new, we have to delete it, correct? Again, b1 equals to new derived, let's say 20. Same way, no need to justify anything. b1, okay. It's always a good thing if you assign like this. Pointer always should be assigned to the null pointer after deleting it, correct?
Yeah.
Now if we see one by one, initially we will delete this virtual keyword and we will see the expected behavior, correct?
Yeah.
So currently we do not need these things. Then this is not needed. This is not, okay, this is needed. Okay. The first line, it is going to give call to the constructor, clear, right?
Yeah.
Constructor will get called, no issues in it. Now, the moment we are going to call the get data method, now we know that the data type of B1 is base, correct? It represents to the base class. So it
Yeah.
is going to jump to the base class,
Yeah.
correct? Now the call got to the base class. Now if we run this, you can see we will get 10, correct?
Yeah.
After that, okay, now we are going to delete this memory as we have created it. So we deleted the memory, but this is not going to be the null. It is going to point to some invalid memory or the destroyed memory. We are going to assign it to the null. So now it is pointing to the null pointer. Again, we have given call to the
Derived class.
So first derived class constructor will get called. From here, before executing anything, it is going to call to the
Base
base
class.
constructor, correct? So base class
Yeah.
constructor called first, then derived class constructor will get called. Now, again this time, what is the data type of B1? It's base, correct? It's of base
Yeah.
type. Even
Yeah.
though holding object of derived class, it is going to jump to the base class only,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Now, if you do not write virtual keyword, it is going to call to the base class method only. And if we see, instead of 25, this time we are getting 20 because the derived class method is not getting called, right?
Yeah. It is only calling the base class method, so that's why it only gave 20.
Right? Because
Yeah.
this method was not virtual, correct? If we
Yeah.
make it virtual, now things will change.
Yeah.
So we can say it has already called. So let's run it one more time. So till this point, everything will happen same. At this time, it is going to call to the derived class constructor, then base class constructor, okay? And if we execute this line now, you can see it has jumped to the derived class, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And as a result, sorry, we will get 25, correct?
Yeah.
Do not write this keyword virtual here. It means it is not going to call the
Base class.
derived class. If virtual keyword is not there, definitely
Yeah. Okay.
it will get called to the base class. If virtual
Yes.
is there, then and only then it is going to call the
Derived
derived.
class. Yeah.
It's possible that we can have multiple derived classes,
Yeah.
correct? Now let's try in this scenario. So again, we will create one thing, but in this scenario, we'll not override this method. Correct. This is overridden method. We can write override keyword as well. This feature is there from C++ 14 or 17. I'm not sure. Either this is a C++ 14 feature, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong. Correct.
Yeah.
This is overridden method. But in this class, we do not have that method. Correct. Derived to, we do not have that method.
Yeah.
In this. Now, this is going to call to the derived second derived class constructor. Now we do not have this method. The moment we will jump into this method, it is going to give call to the base class. Clear?
Yeah.
Now how this is happening? So everything lies in a concept called as VPTR and VTable. Okay, virtual pointer and virtual table.
Yeah.
Which we are going to learn in tomorrow's session. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is how the overriding works. Correct. So there is no rule that you should override this method in each and every class. Correct. Sometimes you need that in some classes you have to change the definition in some classes. Correct. Or
Yeah.
specifically in some of the derived classes you have to change the definition of parent class. Correct.
Yeah.
In some classes the parent class method is more than enough. In some scenarios there is no need to override that method. Clear?
Yeah.
To override the method whenever we want to change the base class definition. In such scenarios, we go for the overriding.
Or
First,
even extend.
sorry.
Even
Yeah,
extend the functionality of the base class.
correct, correct. Either you can say extend. Here we have extended the functionality. Ideally, correct. We have not changed the definition. We are using the base class definition. Plus, we have extended its functionality. You can say that as well. Correct. So whenever we want to change the definition of base class or we want to extend the functionality, in such scenarios, we override the method. Correct?
Yeah.
It's clear that it's not mandatory for all the derived classes to override that method. So whenever this condition matches, we go for the overriding. Correct?
Yeah.
So whenever, let's say, if you are writing a code, so you have to understand that does this class needs the overridden method? If we are, I mean, if the implementation of this class and the parent class is exactly same, then there is no point in overriding that method. So simply we can skip that. Clear?
Yeah.
Now, if this is clear, then we can see a few more variations like what is abstract class. Correct? So to understand that, just comment everything. Correct? So we are going to write few more classes. So let's take an example of a class called as shape. So every shape has area.
Yes.
So we need a method which will calculate the area. So I'm taking integer. Ideally, it should be a double value. Okay.
Yeah.
Double or float, you can take anything. So let's make it float only. Now we want a method which will calculate the area. Right? Now, if we want to calculate the area, initially we need some standard shapes. Correct. So shape can be anything. A triangle is a shape. A circle is a shape. A square is a shape. Right.
Yeah.
So do that. We know that if it's a triangle, the method to calculate the area or the get the area is different. I mean, it's based on the shape, correct? So ideally, we do not have any definition for this method currently, right?
Yeah.
So in such scenarios, we make this as an abstract, correct? And if we're making it abstract, we have to write like this. So we equate it to the 0. Yes. So currently we do not have any definition for this. So we equate it to the 0, correct? I mean, this class is not capable of writing any definition for it. Even if we write like this, sorry. it means we are providing a wrong definition. We cannot write like this, right? Because we are not sure what is the definition for this. So we are equating it with 0 and we call this as an abstract method. Correct?
Yeah.
A keyword is there for abstract. This is how we write it. Status string. I forgot how to write it, but yeah, in C++14, the way we write override, we can write abstract as well. Okay, so now this become an abstract. The moment we write any abstract method in a class, that class becomes abstract class. Correct? What is the definition of abstract class? If a class contains any abstract function, that class becomes abstract. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Please with me, right?
Yeah.
Now, just assume a case. Can we create objects of abstract class?
Sorry.
Can we create objects of this class?
Yes, you can create, but you won't be able to derive anything, right?
No, we can't create objects of this class. The reason
Okay,
is,
pure abstract you cannot create. Okay, for
correct?
only abstract you can create objects. Yeah.
No, abstract, no, we can't create.
Okay.
Any method is abstract, any function is abstract, that class becomes abstract. Okay, and for abstract classes, we cannot create objects of it. The reason
Okay.
is, let's say if we create object of this class and I give call to this method called as calculate area, it's possible, right?
Yeah.
But we have definition in this class. The answer is no.
Yeah. We cannot create.
That's why we cannot create object of this abstract class. Correct? Now,
Yeah.
why we need to create an abstract class? Correct? We are just given a basic functionality. So if any class is there, okay, so let's say triangle class is there, we know that we have this method and we have to implement that method now.
Yeah.
Here we are able to write the definition. If it's say we have base, correct? Now, are we in a position to write the definition for this? The answer is yes. 3 point, sorry, 0.5 into base into height. Correct? This is the definition for area of triangle, right? The same way we can have a circle class as well, right? Here instead of base we will be having radius, and here the definition would get changed. 2 into 3 point, right? We have just changed the definition.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We can write override keyword here. You can write constant as well. We'll just understand it, right?
Yeah.
Now, we cannot create object of base class, but we can create pointer of it, right?
Yeah.
And we can say new triangle. It's possible, right?
Yeah.
Area is here, so we can actually this is not making any sense, but we can have a method which is going to set the area. We'll call Whenever we are going to say calculate area, so we'll just change the definition. It is going to just calculate the area, nothing else. And here we'll just write void. Instead of returning it, we are going to say, we can call it in any way. Okay, I mean, it's up to us. This way we are going to write the definition.
Yeah.
So it is going to just calculate the area, and we will write different method. So where is that? Shape is here, triangle is here. So
Why is it showing error there? Okay, you have to
make changes here. That's why.
okay.
So base equals to base case of triangle, in case of circle, right? Now if let's say we have a triangle of this, we can call shape arrow calculate area. It is going to set the area, right? And we can write cout arrow area. So whenever you are going to explain anything related with the inheritance, always create pointers of base class, always. Okay.
Yeah.
We have created it, so we have to delete it, right? The exact same way you can try with circle as well. Circle with radius, let's say, is 6.6. Same area. Is there any need to change this? The answer is no. Now if we run this, let's see what is wrong. I have failed. What is wrong? Must return a value set area. Correct. It is going to give call to the constructor of the triangle. From there, it is going to jump to the constructor of shape.
Yeah.
Coming back to the constructor of triangle, right? It will exist.
Yes.
From here, now this method is abstract, right?
Yeah.
So it is directly going to jump to the base class method. It is going to set some area. Here we will get some area from the, okay, so it's 75.
Yes. Correct. 150 by 2.
By 2. Then we are going to create circle. It is going to calculate the area. It is going to print some area here. So we'll get some value here, right?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
So in case of abstract class, overriding this method is must. In case of abstract class, if
Yeah.
we do not override this method, the next class will become abstract again. If let's say if we do not override this method here, then this class will become abstract, because whatever is there in the base class, everything will get inherited. So if we do not override the abstract method, that method will remain abstract in child class as well. Correct?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have to, I mean, there is a mandate that we have to override that method, or if we do not want to override that, we have to make that class as abstract. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how these methods are going to get called? So always create pointers of base class and store objects of child class. Tomorrow we will see what is vtable and vptr. At that time we will understand how this is going to work. Correct? So the
Yeah.
method is, everything is same. You can see these two lines exactly same. So we are calling these two things, right? So every time different things are getting called, right?
Yeah.
We will understand these things. No
Yeah.
worries. Understood how method overriding works?
Yeah. You need to override so as to ensure the compiler understands that this method can be called even in a derived class. You have to use an override keyword, and in base class you have to make it virtual and
Correct.
equate it to 0.
So is there any need to override the methods in all classes, all derived classes? Let's say
Yes.
I have a base class. Just a simple example. Okay, I have a base class. There is a virtual method, or there is a method which I want to override. The definition is already provided in the base class, and I have 5 derived classes. Let's say A, B, C, D, E, F, okay, or A, B, C, D, E. So is there any need to override the base class method in all 5 classes?
All 5 are derived of their own, right? They are not directly related to each other. Then yes.
It means, let me show you. So let's take an example. This is my class. Let's say A class is there, okay?
Yeah.
And I have a method already defined here. And I have these 5 methods. Sorry, 5 classes. Correct? So their parent is this one.
Yeah.
Correct. So let's take example. A method is here. Let's say I'll just write some random name. This is the method, right? Just imagine.
Yeah.
It's well, or you can add that as well. So let's make it work. Now, so this is the method. So is there any need to override that method here, 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 and here in 5 base classes? Is it mandatory?
Yes, right?
No. If the definition is already provided, it is not mandatory. It's optional. If you want to change the definition, or if you want to add some extra points into the definition or the extend definition, in such scenarios, we just override that method.
Okay. I think it would be better practice to do that, because one of the key features of inheritance is you are using base code to enhance it or make changes to it. So I think like
Ideal, whatever you are telling, that is true. But let's say if my base class definition and derived class definition both are exactly same. So is there any point in rewriting the same definition one more time? So
no.
let's say this is my definition, right? Either I can write it only once, or what I'll do, I have another option to write it 5 times. So just suppose this is the definition for all the 5 classes.
Yeah.
So is there any, do you think, is this the good way of coding? The answer is no. If
Yeah.
the definition of base class and child class is same, in such scenarios, there is no need to write this definition. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to change its definition, correct, it's possible that all 5 needs this definition to be changed. It's possible, correct?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, let's say this class and this class wants to change the definition, but this class do not want to change the definition. So in this scenario, we'll override method in these 2 classes only, correct? And
Yeah.
we will not write that method here, because eventually it is going to point to this method only, correct?
Yeah.
If we want to change the definition, in that scenario only we are going to override that method. Otherwise, indirectly we are duplicating the code, which is not a good thing. Okay,
Yeah.
clear?
Yeah.
But let's say there is a method called as this is a method. Now, is this method mandatory in all these 5 classes? Override?
Override, no.
Yes, in this scenario it's mandatory.
Okay, in pure abstract, yes.
Yeah, this is abstract method. So this class become abstract. So all these 5 classes have this mandate. They have to provide definition for this abstract method, correct?
Yeah.
If do not provide the definition, this class will become abstract, correct? Then their child parent, their child classes have to define that definition.
Yeah.
Okay. How you can imagine this thing? Just take an example. Your parent has some loan. Okay, so let's say he took some loan from a bank, right? If he
Yeah.
is not able to pay, so you have inherited each and everything from your parent, correct? So
Yeah.
you have to pay that loan, correct?
Correct.
Again, if your brother is there, he has to pay that loan, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of, it's a condition, correct? So if
Yeah.
let's say he buys a car, so obviously you are the member who is going to get that car, correct? If he takes the loan, you are the member who is going to repay that if he is not going to repay that loan, correct?
Yeah.
So this is kind of loan. Someone
Yes.
has to pay it. So let's
Yeah.
say your parent took some loan, and let's say he is not able to pay, then you have to pay it, correct? Let's say again you are not able to pay it, your child has to pay it, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Till the time you are not going to pay this loan, you are not going to get the new loan. So it's kind of that. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
in case of abstract methods, it's mandatory for the child class to override that method. If they do not override the method, that class will become abstract and their child class has to provide the definition.
Yeah.
Clear?
Clear.
There is two things. The first one is the abstract method, another is the non-abstract method or a concrete method. This is called as concrete methods, correct?
Concrete methods you don't need to override, but
Concrete
abstract
methods, these are optional. If you
optional.
want to redefine it, you can redefine it. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in case of abstract methods, you must have to define it. Otherwise, that class will become abstract. Clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
No doubts in this, right?
No.
Now, apart from that, anything else which we are missing in case of inheritance?
Diamond problem will be later, right? The types of inheritance, like when we're talking about inheritance, do we mention the types of inheritance in an interview?
You can mention the types.
Multiple, multi-level,
Multi-level, but
single.
there is no need to define each and everything because it will take much time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
In
You can just
simple,
mention it in
in
passing.
simple words, you can mention like is a single inheritance is a base class, a single base class, and a single child class is there. That is single. Multiple, we have a base class and this. Okay, you
Yeah.
can mention like that. But if you are mentioning that, then you have to come to the diamond problem. Okay, diamond problem. Maybe we will start it tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
This is clear.
Yeah.
Now you might have heard about a concept called as interfaces.
Yeah, I've heard about it in Java, not in specifically C++.
Okay. So do you know what are these? So in C++, actually there is no such concept called as interface, but interfaces is kind of a concept, and even in C++ we can make use of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what is this?
Just interface, right? I think it's just and it is, I think, usually an abstract class.
No, there is a difference.
Every method in it is virtual.
Okay. Okay, just let's take an example of this. The very first difference is all methods are abstract.
Yeah.
Correct? This is the first difference. In this scenario, minimum one method
Abstract.
will be abstract. Correct?
Yeah.
Class can have all methods as abstract as well. Okay, if all methods are abstract, then it is called as interface. Otherwise it is considered as abstract class. So let's say my class has 10 methods. Out of those 10, let's say 8 methods are abstract. It is called as abstract class. Correct? If all 10 methods are there which are abstract, then it is called as interface.
Yeah.
Okay? Usually data members are not written there. In interfaces, it is not the thing that we cannot provide data members. Okay.
Yeah.
Members are not written, or in another word we can say data members are constant. So if any constant values we want to define, we can define that as a data member. Otherwise, we do not define anything. Okay, this is one of the important difference between these two. So in C++, we do not have any thing called as like interface. Okay, so I mean, there is no direct keyword. So
Yeah.
we have to write a class, and we have to write all the methods as abstract. Clear?
Yeah.
Now, when to use abstract class, when to use interface?
Interface when we define like a proper virtual abstract class with all virtual methods and
If you want to define all the methods as abstract, in the such scenarios, we write interfaces.
yeah.
Let's say if we do have definition of one of or two functions, in such scenarios, we go for the abstract class.
Yeah.
Interfaces are written because if let's say if you want to maintain integrity or if you want to maintain uniformity in all the classes, in such scenario we go for the interfaces. So this is kind of a design level question. Okay, so let's say if I write an interface and I want anyone who is going to write who is going to implement that interface, he should write like this, or these are the standard methods he must have to override that. In such scenarios we go for the interfaces, correct?
Yeah.
So these are mostly architects or the senior developers, they do write interfaces, and junior developers, they go for the either abstract classes or the normal classes, the concrete classes. Clear?
Yeah.
Anything else apart from this?
No, there's no other like question or why when
Any
do we
que-
use
any question or anything?
no, I think this is pretty, I think, comprehensive and yeah, I
Clear.
think, yeah,
What you have
clear.
to make sure is few things. When to override a method, correct?
Yeah.
Is it mandatory? Correct. Every time.
Will I
And
be asked like this? Like I will be given a code and I will be asked.
it's possible. I mean, or usually when he wants to ask about the overriding, he will never ask when to override that method. But let's say the question or the problem statement which I gave you, right? I told you to write employee class, HR class, and a software developer class, correct? Knowing a concept is one thing, right? And when to use that thing or when to use that concept is another thing.
Yeah.
Like the thing called as knowledge and wisdom, correct? So
Yeah.
you know what's overriding, but you should know when to use it, correct? If you do
Yeah.
not know to use it or how to use it, so it's useless then,
Yeah.
correct? So you should know the correct use case where you can make use of these things and where you cannot make use of those things. Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we are going to see what is VPTR, that is called as virtual pointer. We have seen it yesterday a little bit. Okay, then we will see what is vtable, again virtual table. Then we'll see virtual destructor, correct? In which scenarios we need a virtual destructor? Only these things were, these two things are going to be heavy initially if you do not know about the vtable or what is vptr. So I'll suggest just watch any random videos of 5 minutes or 6 minutes, so at least you will get idea about these things, correct?
Yeah.
You remember we have seen the size of operator, right? In case of empty class it's one. The moment we write a virtual method inside it, automatically the size will become 8 bytes, correct?
Yeah.
That's because of the vptr. The moment we write any method as a virtual, a vptr will get created automatically. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that when to use these things and when not to use. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll stop here and we will connect tomorrow again. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
For the assignments, I'll share it on the WhatsApp. So you will get those questions. Okay.
Okay.
Will be related with the inheritance only. Remind me one more thing tomorrow, that we have to discuss the diamond problem as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Shall we stop here then?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye. Have a
Bye.
great
You too.
day.
Bye.
Yeah.